Hey everybody, happy blessings wherever you are. We're so happy to be on the Pick TV network spotlight. And we want to welcome our viewers all over the world, those in Germany, Panama, United Kingdom, Chile, Canada. UK is in the house today. We're excited for the UK. London is here today, and we're excited for all of you watching from the United States, the Pick TV Network Spotlight. And we have a VIP special guest with us today, all the way from London, England. Allison J. She is here. She's a book author. She is a businesswoman. She is a queen from England, and she's a part of the Big Pick TV Network business team. Alison, greet the world and tell them who you are.
Thank you so much, Dr. Evans. That is a phenomenal introduction. I am honored. So my name is Allison J. And as you mentioned, I am from London, England, born and raised. I am an author. I am a businesswoman. I am also a life coach and a mentor to teenagers, amongst a plethora of other things that I have dipped and dabbled in over the years.
Wow,
And now I'm proud and honored to say that I am a member of the PIC TV family.
it's amazing. We met in Clubhouse. My wife was there, and she was calling some names out, and boom, you popped up, hit the stage. And I didn't know at that particular time that you was from England. I didn't know at that particular time that you had books out. But we've grown to hear about you and have you on our news channel to talk with you about your family, taking care of your mom, doing some wonderful things. Just talk a little bit about growing up in London, England. I've never been there before. That's one of my favorite places I see with the Eiffel Tower and all this great stuff. Tell the whole world about London.
So I'm first generation British. My mother moved from Jamaica to London when she was 14. My grandmother and some of my other uncles and aunts also were living in the UK at the time. I grew up in a very predominant Jamaican cultured neighborhood area, from school to church to the street that we lived on. So it was one of the things where I'm a child of the 70s, and being first generation British, it's one of those things where it was a marriage of the Western UK European culture and the Jamaican West Indian culture. And it really was the best of both worlds, because we had the music, we had the food, and then being in the UK, you have the benefits of things like the social service systems and the National Health Service for medical, for them in the medical field as well. And so growing up in London, it was, you had that sense of community. Had that sense of, as they say, it takes a village. And we definitely were a village, our tribe, because you had people that knew each other from back in Jamaica that lived in neighborhoods. They came together. And the way that it was when my parents and grandparents first moved over to the UK, it was that one person had a house and you would have multiple families living in that house. And then as each family saved up and were able to buy their own home, then they moved out. And that is how everybody really came together and helped each other get their start in the UK. And so here we are today. Fast forward, we have many generations now born in the UK, because we have like our children, and some of us, our children have children. And it's just one of those things where we do try to keep hold of our roots and where we're coming from and our culture. But we know that we are blessed to have that and be part of another culture in Europe. So that really was a bit about my growing up in the UK, in London, born and raised.
Wow, that's exciting. I've been in Washington, D.C. all my life. My wife has been to London with some church trips and things like that. And I always want to go. I heard about the tea that they have over there. You drink.
Yeah. I didn't realize how much tea I drank until I moved away from the UK. And it was always, oh, I really do need a cup of tea. And everything was a cup of tea. And I realized I really am more English than I thought I was.
Wow, that's awesome. Let's get into the books. You have some books out, and the people who are in the audience who are watching from all over the world, we're excited about you being an author. Talk about these books that you have, and what motivated you to write these books.
The first book that I wrote is called Broken Pieces Behind the Mask. And what led to that was really, it's my life. It's part one of the autobiography of my life. So it's basically from me when I was born, or conception really, right through to the age of 30. So that's part one. And what prompted me to write it was because of the journey and the story that is my life, and some of the things I've gone through. I've gone through some horrendous traumatic experiences, and it was put in me in about 2009 or thereabouts. And I approached my mother and I asked her, I believe it's my calling and my purpose to write a book about my life. And obviously, in writing about my life and my journey, it involved writing about some of hers. So I didn't want to go into it without speaking to my mother first and getting her blessing, really, because I didn't want to do anything that would cause any kind of upset. And she looked at me and she said, Alison, it's fine, go ahead. And so I was very nervous because of some of the, as I mentioned, some of the traumatic things. And as with all people, I thought to myself, if people really knew some of the things I've been through, how would they see me? How would they perceive me? So I wrote my books under a pen name. As you see on the screen there, Ethel May. Ethel May is my pen name. That is actually my grandmother's name.
Wow.
I love my grandmother dearly. So I used her name to write the book. And I started to write the book and I had it all there. I think I wrote about 8 or so pages, and I gave it to 3 different people that I worked with. And I asked them to read it, and they were reading and flipping through. And then when they got to the next page and it was blank, the gasp was like, oh, where's the rest? What happens next? So I just said to them, what I wanted to know is this something that people would continue to read? Because I'm sure we've all had that experience when we've picked up a book and it was boring and we didn't want to continue. I did not want to be the person that wrote one of those books. So that was the case then. But then I put the book down. I knew I still had a book in me to write, but then I put it down. Fast forward 10 years, having gone through more things, having gone through some serious health issues, a divorce, it was in my spirit again, you need to write that book. You need to pick up that book. So I went back to my mother and I said to her, I know we spoke about this in the past. I'm picking the book back up. Are you okay with it? She gave her blessing, and I think I wrote that book in probably about 5 weeks. I was recovering from surgery, and the surgery was so painful I couldn't really move or do much. And I got my laptop, and the laptop was on my lap. I had one of those trays where you can have over the bed and you put your food on it. And it was a case of I would spend all day typing. When it came to mealtime, it was just move the laptop, put the plate there, eat, move the plate, put the laptop back, and just knocked that book out in a few short weeks, because it was just everything in me that was coming out and downloading. And I was still very nervous and anxious about writing the book because of the content and because people would get to know and get an insight into some things that I had kept hidden and buried for many, many years. A couple of people I know got hold of the book and they read it. And I was then invited to speak at some conferences back in the UK. And afterwards, I was amazed at the people at both conferences that would approach me. In one of the workshops, in the room was a grandmother, her daughter, and the granddaughter, 3 generations. And after I spoke and after my workshop, the grandmother approached me. She bought the book. The granddaughter also wanted to buy a copy of the book. And she just held my hand and she said, I need to go home and speak to my son because he doesn't know what he doesn't know. And that really blew me away because I had become to realize that there's so many people holding on to dark secrets, holding on to trauma, holding on to pain that they haven't felt free enough or able to release and let go. And this is a woman that was well advanced in years. And it would appear as though for the first time, she felt free and able and empowered to be able to speak of her experiences, of her traumas and things that she's held hidden for so many years. And I looked at it and I realized this is the reason for this book. There are people that need to hear this story. There's people that need to hear my story because it will allow them to be free to share their story and be able to breathe and take that weight off and move forward. So that's the story behind book number 1, Broken Pieces Behind the Mask. I am actually in the process of writing part 2, the sequel to that, which then goes from age 30 to 40. And then there's going to follow the 3rd book from 40 to 50. Yes, I know I am 50. Many people don't believe that. So it is actually it's starting as a 3-part series, but I know I'm going to go on to do a 4-part series because of some of the content. Once I finish that, I'm going to go back and do the prequel. It's going to be in that order. So that is the sequence and the series of the Broken Pieces Behind the Mask series. Now, my 2nd book is called Pack Your Luggage, but Leave Your Baggage. Wow. And the reason that book came to be was I had been asked to write articles as a life coach in a few online magazines. So I had been writing self-help, encouragement, inspirational articles. And I got the inspiration from that show, Sex and the City, where Carrie Bradshaw was an author and she put all of her articles together in a book. So I've got all of my articles together and I put them in the book. But there's also other things in that book. There are pages where you can write your thoughts. And the beauty of that book, Pack Your Luggage, but Leave Your Baggage, it gives you practical everyday tips. So regardless of the situation, regardless of the circumstance, you can pick that book up and there's a section or a chapter in there. It talks about letting things go and freeing yourself. It talks about forgiveness. It talks about gratitude. It talks about so many things. It talks about fear. What do you do when fear and your past hold you hostage? And it gives encouragement, and it's for men as well, because I've realized over the years that men have put on this and they have to wear this exterior and they don't have the platform and they don't have the space to express themselves. And so many men are silently dying. And it is so painful to see that. So there's sections in there that men can go to if they want some encouragement or just to get a way to know how to get out of a circumstance or a situation or to work through a situation. And so there's encouragement in there. There's bite-sized bits of inspiration. So there's quite a few quotes, and pretty much every quote that's in there is one of my own quotes. So if you just need just a few words of encouragement on the go, you can pick that book up and get it. If you can sit down and have the time to read a chapter that's about 3 or 4 pages, that book has it. And you don't have to read it in any particular order, because it is all just encouragement that for whatever circumstance and situation you're going through. And as I mentioned, it's for men, it's for women, it's for young adults. Anybody can read that book. Pack your luggage, but leave your baggage, because so many of us have so much that we walk around with. Because if you look at the cover of that book, and if you look at the baggage, there's so much of it. There's unforgiveness, there's holding grudges, there's trauma, there's pain, there's sadness, there's disappointment, there's heartbreak. There's so many things that we're walking around with. And if we don't learn to leave our baggage, we'll just be piling things on top of things on top of things. But if we leave the baggage behind, and again, if you look at the cover of the book, look, she only has a few small pieces of luggage, and she has peace, she has gratitude, she has joy, she has contentment, she has grace, she has courage. So that's what all the writing is on the cover of that book. And so that really is the inspiration behind where both of those books came from.
Wow, that is amazing. You know, when I see you pouring out your heart, telling your story, putting it in written form, it's just an amazing blessing. You know, so many people around the world can get this book today, straight from the author. You know, she's a part of the PIC TV network business team representing the UK. You know, this is an amazing day and time that we're living in. You know, and again, I know a lot of people got chatting in, and we also got our audience on YouTube who are watching, Facebook, Instagram, even we come into Alexa, or for a new format where we can come on Alexa and it can be played over again. In the PIC TV network, our network that has 60 channels, which you're part of. You know, when people want to get this book, I want you to talk about, you know, and we're gonna put it up here on the screen, because somebody may be looking right now and say, you know, I just want to get a copy, and you know, you have the capability of getting them a copy of this book. I want you to talk about how they can get that book. Either one.
You can get the book through many, many different channels. You can reach out to me. My contact information is right there, www.alisonj.net. You can get it through Amazon, Barnes and Nobles. There's so many places that you can get it. There's also, as you can see there, the book is written, the author's name is Ethel May. There's a website, ethelmaybooks.com. You can also get it through there. So
wow.
Many places you can purchase my books.
Well, I mean, you have two wonderful books up here. That this is an amazing opportunity for somebody to get these books, and they can read them, they can go through them. You know, will you autograph them? Will you sign them and send them out? If they have to get it?
If they contact me directly, then yes, I can absolutely do that. If they get it through Amazon, unfortunately, I won't see it. It will go direct to them.
Wow. This is a great opportunity for everybody to get these books. You got to get these books. We're talking to the author today, you know, and I'm so excited that you are a part of the family of the PIC TV network. Our family is blessed to have you to be our business manager from the UK, and we just honored. So we're going to take a commercial break, and we're going to come back right after this. Everybody, don't go nowhere. Don't touch that dial. Hey everybody, thank you for tuning back into the broadcast. We're on the spotlight today. We're so happy for all of you who are watching the broadcast once again. We are so happy today for our audience. You know, people are watching all over the world. And we have Allison on with us. She is from the UK and she's a part of the Pick TV Network team. And she is also a book author. Hey, the people are popping in Germany, Panama, Ireland, Peru, Chile, Canada, and now the United Kingdom is here. We have the UK in the house. Hey, UK. Allison, you know, being on the business team of the Pick TV network, first of all, I want to ask you, as the president, and you're on our team now, how do you feel, Allison, when you turn on the television and you see an African American television network with 60 channels that's pushing inspiration, information, education, and entertainment? Talk about this, Allison.
I feel very, very proud. And I think proud doesn't even do what I feel justice. Because when we look at the other channels, when we look at what's out there, we are not the ones telling our story. We are not the ones talking about our journey, and we're not the ones talking about how we feel, where we're coming from, or our hopes and our dreams. That is being left to others that have an agenda or a different narrative. And it's not accurate. It's not a true representation of who we are. So the fact that we have a 100% Black owned network doing great things, bringing great information, knowledge, and just covering every aspect and area of life, you can't feel anything other than proud to be a part of such a network and such a team.
Yeah, and you know, for us to tie into the UK with you, you know, this has been just something that we've been hoping and praying for and anticipating the day that we would have a business manager on our team from the UK. You know, when we started this network, we didn't know you were coming, but here you are.
Well, as I said to you in the conversation, I believe it was yesterday, if I can quote a movie that I saw many years ago, and it says, if you build it, he will come. And that's many times that's what stops a lot of people from even getting started. They feel as though they just need to have everything at the very beginning, at the start. And because they don't have all the things they think they need, they just feel a little dejected and defeated. But that's the beauty of people such as yourself. You just get started and you start building, and the people just, they come at the time that they are at the right time, and all the resources that you need, they come, but you have to get started. Don't allow what you see in the immediate, because you may not have enough, to stop you. Because if we go to quote a scripture, the scripture says you live by faith and not by sight. And that's too many people got it backward, because a lot of people live by sight and not by faith. And if we live by sight, by what we don't have, and that's a lot of people live in a place of what they don't have, rather than actually realizing and recognizing what you do have, the resources that are available to you. If we just live that way, you'd be surprised at what we would have achieved already.
That's major. That is super major. You know, seeing you on, having you on, is just like a perfect opportunity, you know, to come on and to reach the States. You also have a television show that you're going to come on the Pick TV network. I want you to let our audience know about what to anticipate on your very own show, being on a business team, um, and also having your television show on the Pick TV network. Talk a little bit about that.
I started about a year ago, I started a podcast series, and it was called Conversations with Allison J, The Journey to Here. And I'm a person that I believe in having the hard conversations. I believe in talking about the topics that other people don't want to talk about, but are so vitally important. The show covers topics such as mental health in the Black community and the disproportionate rates of our Black men that are suffering from mental health challenges. I have conversations with people that have attempted suicide and thankfully survived, and also those that help and talk about and travel the world talking about suicide prevention. Some of the topics we talk about are sex trafficking, human trafficking, and the alarming statistics of people that are actually trafficked by people they know. We too often we look at movies like Taken and we think, oh, people are kidnapped and they are trafficked. No, that's only 3%. I learned through doing these conversations that 97% of people that are trafficked by people they know. And that was so alarming. So that means that could be happening right next door, down the street, in our neighborhoods. And so I have conversations like that, and even talking about wellness. I've spoken to a gentleman who is a prostate cancer survivor and talking about how illnesses disproportionately affect those of us in the Black community: prostate cancer, breast cancer, high blood pressure, diabetes, and there's so many other things. And the differences in how we are treated. We talk about infertility, all these things that, if we look at it, some of the other communities, if we look at the Caucasian communities, they talk about these things freely. But in the Black community, for some reason, we tend to not be able to or feel as though we have the platform to talk about these things. These things don't just affect white people. These things affect us too. And we should be talking about these things. So my show is talking about those serious, sometimes gritty topics that others don't want to talk about, but do seriously affect us. And we need to. My motto, my slogan is, the more we have these conversations, the more these conversations can be had.
Wow, that's amazing. You know, to hear you speak and to represent the UK, and you know, to be an intelligent, articulate, educated Black woman is amazing. We're honored to have you on our team to be our business manager and to bring the UK. You got to give a shout out to your family. They're gonna be watching all over the UK. You got to send some names out, because you got to give a shout out to your family and your friends over there in the UK.
Well, I have to give the first shout out to my mother. She's not in the UK, but definitely shout out to my mom. And then I have to shout out my 10-year-old goddaughter, Eva. She is, I'm not sure if she's my goddaughter or I'm her goddaughter sometimes, but definitely Eva, Karen, Albert, Shirley, Junior, B, just there's so many family members, Sandra, Dominic, Jordan, so many people to shout out. But and I also have to give a big mention to the Pullman family, sending you my love and my prayers, and so many other family and friends that I know will be watching. And if I don't call everybody's name, please charge it to the head and not the heart, because you know I love you.
Wow, that's big. You know, we're in the midst of coming out of a pandemic, and I know, like so many people around the world watching right now, Allison, that you lost some friends. My sister passed away, Brenda, last August. I miss her every day.
Oh, I'm
And
sorry to hear that.
yeah, you know, this is something that we never expected to happen in the world. You know, talk about how COVID has what you learned from COVID. What COVID is. I know you got a lot of friends who gone on. How
Mm.
impacted your life?
It's wow. It's impacted my life in the sense of A lot of things that we would say as cliches. I remember over the years, you go to one funeral after another, and there's always the, oh, we really should keep in touch. Oh, we really should live better. Oh, we really should. But then after the funeral has passed, everybody goes back to life as normal. And we forget that we said those things. And then the next funeral comes around, and guess what? We say the same things all over again. But if I didn't realize it before, COVID taught me just how fleeting and precious life is. And I know we've grown up with the saying, life's short, but it really is. And you don't get a second chance. You don't get, this is not a dress rehearsal. And it's one of those things that before COVID, when people would pass away, I remember the first question we would typically ask is, oh, I didn't know they were ill. COVID taught me that unlike what they were saying about it's only the elderly and the young and you have to have pre-existing conditions, I know people that passed away that did not have pre-existing conditions. My cousin's stepson was 24 years old, healthy young man, passed away from COVID. So it looked at it just like, wow, death is no respecter of person. Sickness is no respecter of person. And don't put off till tomorrow what you can do today. And I know it's cliche and I know we hear it all the time, but honestly, the people that you love and cherish, let them know. Don't take them for granted, because if there's like my cousin, if I could have one opportunity to make fun of him and laugh with him again, I would take it. One of my closest friends, he's a chef, and I tell you, that man would always keep me fed. If I could just have one more chance to sit down and have a meal with him again, I would take it. And these are people that I saw in 2019. Early into 2020, they were gone. And it's just made me realize that there are people that I'm not, and I will not, and I can't take for granted those people that mean something to me. They're probably going to get sick of me always telling them that I love them now, but I'd rather that they got sick of me telling them all the time that I love them than they don't hear it at all.
Yeah, that's amazing. You hear so many people around. Allison has touched. She is a gift. The Pick TV network. When we hear and her books and she's doing to help the world to be a better place. This is just an amazing time to be alive and to see that the Pick TV network, our network, and those who've been watching, we often thank all of our people from all over the world who are watching our network. And when we name these places, Germany, Panama, Ireland, Peru, Chile, Canada, now we can stop in the United Kingdom and say, we have a business manager all the way London, England, who's on our team, who's recruiting people, who's bringing people in to help Pick TV network go across the waters to other countries around the world. And all of these countries, we're claiming that we have business managers in every country, all the 30 or 40 countries that we have on the Pick TV network. This is super amazing. And those who just tuning in, we want to thank you for your time, for tuning in. We are interviewing all the way from the United Kingdom, our very own Allison. Allison, again, those who just popped in, I wanted to talk about again how they can get your books. We're going to, somebody just tuning in, coming in for the first time, they're just getting into the broadcast. Let them know again the name of your books and how they can get them, so they can get your books.
I have 2 books out at the moment. One is called Broken Pieces Behind the Mask. The author's name you'll see is Ethel May. That's the pen name that I write under. The other book is Pack Your Luggage, but Leave Your Baggage. You can buy those books directly from myself. If you go to contact me via my website, AllisonJ.net. You can email me at alison@alisonj.net, or you can give me a call. The number is 202-428-9268. You can also purchase my books from Amazon, Barnes and Nobles, anywhere good books are sold. If you're in the UK, you can buy my books from Waterstones, anywhere. You can buy my books. They're easily available for purchase. If you just put in the names in Google, a whole list of places will come up.
Wow, that is so big. Hey, everybody, you're watching this PIC TV Network Spotlight, and we're so happy to all of our guests are watching today. Alison is here. Brent, she's our fitness manager, and we're excited for everybody who's taking time out of your schedule to watch our program on the PIC TV Network. Let's sell out. Let's get her books everywhere around the world. Buy this book, get it, give away for your gifts, birthday gifts, anniversary gifts. Get this book so we can support our own. We're going to have a commercial break and come right back right after this. Hey everybody, thank you for your time for being on the broadcast today. We are here with Alison, and we're going to close out this program today. I'm excited for all of you and taking time out of your schedule to be on the broadcast. Alison, thank you so much. We're going to have another part, and to your mom, show a lot of love, and to everybody watching this broadcast. This is a great, great, wonderful woman with so many gifts and talents and abilities, and we're happy for her being a part of the PIC TV Network business team. Alison, any closing words you want to say?
Just thank you so much for having me and the opportunity to speak. And I'm really looking forward to the work that we are going to do together. And blessings to everyone. And just remember, the more we have these difficult conversations, the more these conversations can be had, and the easier we will help each other take that next step in life.
Thank you, everybody. Till next time, keep watching the TV Network. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.